counter. Just don't stop wiping the counter. Just, it'll look like you're busy. That doesn't seem like your best. That doesn't seem like the very best in giving back. See, what's asked for the people of Israel here in verse 2 is you are to receive the offering from me from each man whose heart prompts him to give. Somebody who's just sitting there trying to look busy is not giving their best and is not responding in this way. See, there's an important part of this journey back to this journey that they were taking out of Israel. When they started, God allowed them to plunder Israel of its gold, of its silver, of its bronze, of its blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. All the things that they needed, they took from Egypt. So it was only because God allowed them to have it that they had it to give. It came from God anyway. He didn't want it to be something, this giving, he didn't want that to be something that they felt like was a chore. It was something that they were prompted to do and they wanted to do. It was originally a gift of God and was from the plunder that God allowed them to do. And the other thing about this giving from the heart was that also the people wouldn't expect anything in return. They wouldn't expect anything in return. It's something that they give because they felt led to. And it's their very best. Secondly, once he had the stuff together, what were you going to do with it? And so God provides them a blueprint. God is the perfect architect. And he gives them directions on making the ark. We have in the back a picture of what the whole tabernacle may have looked like, a little bit of what the ark would have looked like. In addition, on the handouts we have for the kids, which you can also look at, you can also have a little visual of what the ark would have looked like. A little piece. There's this little piece of the puzzle. One of the last things built, but the first thing that they were told how to build. So it says, have them make a chest of acacia wood 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. That's approximately 3 feet by 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet is how big that was. Overlay it with pure gold, both inside and out, and make a gold molding around it. Cast 4 gold rings for it and fasten them to its 4 feet, with 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Then make poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Insert the poles into the rings on the sides of the chest to carry it. The poles are to remain in the rings of the ark. They are not to be removed. Then put in the ark the testimony which I will give you. Make an atonement cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. Make 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. The important thing here is that it is talking about 2 different things they're making. They're making the ark and they're making a cover as well. There's 2 separate things. Make the 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. Make 1 cherub on one end and the second cherub on the other. Make the cherubim of one piece with the cover at the 2 ends. The cherubim are to have their wings spread upward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim are to face each other, looking toward the cover. Place the cover on top of the ark and put in the ark of the testimony which I will give you. There above the cover, between the 2 cherubim that are over the ark of the testimony, I will meet with you and give you all my commandments for the Israelites. This is a very important piece of the puzzle because this is going to be the place, as opposed to trying to find a mountain over and over again that Moses would be able to climb and talk to God. He was providing this place that Moses was going to be able to talk to God inside the most holy place. The specific place at the ark and meeting between the cherubim. This place where they were meeting. This was a very important first thing to be done. But in order for something to be made, you needed skills of the people. They had plans. They had the stuff gathered together, but they needed to get the skills of the people. It can't build itself. You needed the skills of the people to build it. And in the same way that people were to offer their stuff, the people were to offer They're abilities. God gives us and gifts us with abilities that we're supposed to give in the same way that the stuff was supposed to be given from the heart. From the heart. God enabled different people to be able to do the work that he provided, that he needed to have done, so that they could have this dwelling, so that they could have this place that shows and gives a place for God to meet with Moses outside the sight of all the other people. God requires our very best. My first job out of college, I worked with a wonderful worker. Every time I'd see him working, it would seem like he was so busy. He was doing such a great job, but I discovered in one job that it seemed to be taking way too long. I'd come back and it seemed like absolutely nothing had been done, yet they had spent a full day on the job. And I discovered that this one worker had quite the knack of looking like he was doing a lot of work and doing a great job. But he wasn't. He was hardly getting anything done. It wasn't too long after that we did have to fire him, because although he looked busy, he wasn't busy. He was giving of his talents, but not really. He wasn't giving his best. He wasn't giving his heart. As we work and as we serve, it's important to be able to give our very best. To give the best of our skills, the best of our stuff, and the best of our time. To set that apart for God. For the people of Israel, it was them coming out of Egypt. For them being freed from the slavery that they had been in. The slavery in Egypt. For us, it is for coming out of sin, in that slavery of sin that we've been in. In this time of Easter, we remember that Jesus Christ died on a cross and rose again. And so, as Jesus tabernacles with us, as he dwells with us, he dwells in our very hearts. And we don't have to go to a most holy place to talk to God. There are many places we can go to talk to God. In our own prayer closets, here on Saturdays, jogging on the streets. Because God's promise is that he will tabernacle with us. And we need to remember, too, that as we give back, as we say thanks, how is it that we say thanks? We got our new envelopes for giving, and on this, very importantly, it includes time, talent, and treasure, because all three are very important to give. Because if the people gave the stuff but didn't give their time, the work wouldn't have been done. If the people would have given their time but didn't have any stuff, they still couldn't have built. And so also with us, if we don't give of all three, and we don't give our very best, we're still not able to build that tabernacle, that dwelling with God that we need to have. Because the relationship with God and the saying thank you to God involves all three. Our time, our talent, and our treasure. Because we want to thank God as we continue on our journey back to faith. We need the architect, the chief architect with us. And we need to listen, and we need to give our time, our talents, and our treasure. Amen.